Alright, looks like we're live. Don't mind me. Trying to set up real quick. My end. I might as well get this. I was like, hey, you know what? I'll actually get the stream monetized and I won't be lazy about it. Get this set up while I'm waiting for everybody to pop in. That's I didn't even set up the previous ones. They were still ad free. Can't have that nonsense. I didn't save the other. Yeah, whatever. I'll come back. Anyways, listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. How's it going, Ryan? Zilla, Caesar. Glad you guys could make it. So, for a fun one, I got a Kill la Kill figure here. This is the Wave figure that actually just came in. This is actually an early Christmas present. Or, sorry, early birthday present. My bad. Christmas is a while. And it's going pretty good. Just got done eating dinner. Anime titties for the win. You know what's funny is like I'll have that in the thumbnail and Godzilla still get more. So I think Godzilla titties are way more important than anime titties for the most part. Like we gotta get some Godzilla chesticles in the stream. But Arnaz was kind enough. He got me. Actually, zoom out a little bit. You can see. Oh, I did it right the first time. You can see my even more messy table here. But he used to actually have this. And it either got sold or lost. We're not sure which. But Arnaz got one for me. Got it pretty reasonable on eBay. Because, like anything Kill la Kill, it tends to get expensive over time. This figure is no exception. Because I think when it came out, it was like 40, maybe $50 to try to import it. Now you're looking at like a couple hundred to get a hold of this thing. Now, there is one reason why it was cheaper, and that's because you can see here, it's not currently on the stand. There should be a peg here. There's no peg. You want to know where the peg is? Right there. So, I'm going to try to rectify that problem. And hopefully, if I eyeballed measurement right, this little piece here is not the one I grabbed originally. Get out of here. I was cutting pieces to figure out sizes. Did not see the screen. Thankfully, it's nothing nude. She's in a bikini. But I have a bunch of the supports from a bunch of model kits hanging around still. Because sometimes these can come in handy. This is one of those instances. And I think that seems like it's the same size. At least eyeballing it. I'll have to smooth it out and then adjust the size accordingly. But I think that's going to fit there and work as a good replacement. It's not going to be the right color, but you're not going to see it. As long as that keeps the figure standing upright, that's all I really care. So I'm going to have to drill that out. So I got my trusty little Dremel here. Also, this came with it too. Little accessory piece. Which, terrifying thing is, my cat found out about the elastic bands, and now he keeps trying to steal them off my table here. And I had this figure sitting on my laptop, and then the -1 Godzilla, and my cat tried to murder them. Like, please don't. Steve doesn't want to pay for new figures. That sounds like a horrible idea. Especially trying to get a -1 monster art. It's like, God forbid. I do not want to do that anytime soon. I was thinking about using one of these because I have a bunch of these crappy drill bits that I bought a while back. I don't use them. And I was thinking about redoing the support there, but then I found this. So I think I could just remove this fully and not have to care. I'm going to say that, get the thing out, and then be really sad when it doesn't work. So I'm going to take a smaller drill bit. I'm going to drill into there, and hopefully it'll give me enough tension to pull it out. Hopefully. Because what I'll do is I'll start with this one. If that doesn't work, I'll go up the drill bits until we get that piece of plastic out of there. I also don't want to go too deep because I don't want to drill through this piece. Yep, that's pretty well in there. Oh yeah, like Servo's here. Problem is Servo he's a spoiled rotten cat and he gets to go everywhere because he cannot live without some kind of human affection. Because otherwise it'll just be meow, 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 meow until you go and see what he wants. Can't really hate on him because he is super cuddly. But I like to hate on him because he tries to be super cuddly all the time. Even when you sleep. I think that's my slightly bigger one. So we'll go with this one. See if that works. I'm wrecking your gift, Arnez. We are breaking it even more than it already was. But now that I made the hole bigger, this should go in there easy enough without me having to guide it. Ooh, and there we go. Started taking some of it out. Yeah, come on. Ah, so close. Work. Need something that's kind of pokey. There's not much plastic left in there. Hoping I could just pull it out. I haven't quite hit the bottom yet. Oh, hammer. 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 It'd probably be the most expensive thing we've hammered, though, to be fair. Yeah, he's actually currently... I gotta get him sent out. I'm gonna go a little deeper. I'll admit, this piece is not wanting to cooperate. I'd like to know how deep that went. Kind of wondering. Because more than likely, that's probably glued in there. Don't want to be on high. Yeah, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way of just eyeballing it. Well, it's not entirely out, but might be good enough for me to insert the new rod. Like so. There we go. Oh, we got a new little peg. I'm gonna glue this thing in real quick. Proof the hammer back up. Where's my glue? Get this glue heating out. Gluing you. Oh, cool. Actually, good enough. Got the glue in. Little too much glue. Ugh. I want to make sure this thing's gonna like stay in. Where it hardens up as much of that as I can, so I don't have a bunch of little translucent bits hanging out there. All right, that's good. Not gonna go anywhere. Now for the fun, scary part. Gotta do the same thing, but to her. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going to use a smaller bit to make my guide hole go a little bigger, and then just try to work it out of the foot. Hopefully, because it's supposed to go into said foot, it'll pop out without much issue, unlike this one, because this section was glued in. Once you get enough plastic off this end, it should just come out. And actually, as I say this, I wonder if I could just pry it out. Snaps, I didn't even have to drill. Awesome. That is not a very big peg. But that does tell me how high I need that one to be. In order to fit. Also slightly concerned now because it seems like this piece is actually a little bigger. Might be about the same size. We'll figure it out. So, right about there's where I want to be. There we go. Oh, shoot. It's a little big. Hold up. I'm curious. I bet you that piece I cut earlier that seemed slightly small is going to fit in here. Actually, that's even a little big. Almost fits. Uh, hmm. I could probably trim around that, make it smaller. Might do that. I'm just kind of debating options. Because I could try to sand it down just a little bit, but I have to worry about this grinding into the plastic, which is not what I really want to do. I could try using the knife. That sounds a little sketchier. Trying to just shave it off. Not actually the best way to go about that. Probably you'd hit that Shinzo with a hammer, and it would already kind of just break apart by itself. Oh yeah, the Mono Masters are definitely better than the Apple Barrel. The Apple Barrels will work for the most part for what you need, but kind of like if you really need something like the paint to stick in like the first go through, and you don't want to add layers, the monocolor stuff's really good for that. Because the other thing I could do is now that, granted, it's kind of dumb because I just redid the base, but I could just reattach this to that. Do it that way. Then I won't have to cut it. Well, that's what I was saying. I got like I have the tools for the job, but the problem is they all essentially have the sanding piece on the bottom too. So if I'm not careful, I can start sanding the actual base. I could file it, I guess. We're gonna be here for a minute, but I do have that. Because I could just use this end where it's not gonna. Oh, I say that. Neuron activated. Because I have like these pieces, these files where it's smooth on the bottom. So I don't have to worry about grinding it. And then just start working it around. And even that's gonna be quite a bit time consuming. I'm almost thinking just to make my life fast and fast and dirty is just snipping that back off, re-drilling it, putting the other piece on, gluing it, bam, calling it. It doesn't need to be quite even, it just needs to hold. Let's take it back out. Oh, that bludger is probably super glued in there now, though. Actually, you know what? Kind of a Kapoken way of doing this, but I can squish this. And I might be able to thin it enough. Alright, budget. I guess we're gonna just redo this. Now the problem is now I don't have a smooth end. Now I really need to redo it. La 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 la. This is always the fun part about doing custom work like or fixing stuff. Sometimes it's quite a bit. Where the heck did the small one go? I have two big ones. There we go. And my top filled down. Kind of in the same boat. Hopefully I can fill that. We had that smaller piece, right? What's so disturbing about my collection? Everything has clothes. I think my plan is, because I know the smaller one actually sort of fits into there. Sorry I'm not doing this part on camera, but I just want to make sure it's going to fit in there. All right, got it in. Gonna snip that part off. And then this is what I'm gonna work on getting into here, but I gotta make the hole a little big. And kind of just like a slow, slowly but surely process. Ooh, almost there. Back down. Ooh, could smell that glue. Well, she's on. That's on the Smiley Friends April Fool's prank. I'll be honest, I have no idea what you're talking about. Already a great view. The best view. It's a little wiggly. And to be honest, I'd like it to be... It's going to come out wrong, but I need it a little deeper. There we go. Because we're going to be honest, this thing's never coming off the stand again. But I would like the option if I can. So now we put some glue there. Stick that in there. She is on. Make sure I like the angle. Come on, a little deeper. I think the angle is fine. I guess if anything, maybe two. Now at least she's on the stand. Feel like you're judging me, God King. What's cringe? It's like easily one of the best animes ever. Next on the agenda, we have outfits. Goes in her hand. Like so. Now she's fully functional and on the thing. Yep, Kill la Kill. This is Ryuko. This is the wave figure. It's probably the other one. This was, there's only two figures I really wanted still from Kill la Kill. It's this one, and then there's the real action hero of the Wonderfest version of Ryuko in the school outfit. Or the only two things out of my Kill la Kill collection that I'm missing that I would love to get a hold of. Problem is both of them are kind of expensive. I also wouldn't mind the Beast style. There's a bunny girl figure of her. That one's not as bad to get. That's not one's actually like she's almost expensive as that thing is. Yeah, the yellow bikini. It's from an illustration is what this is based on. But to get one of these like mint in the box, you're looking more expensive than like the quarter scale figure of her, which is stupid. And then the real action hero. While I would love it, I will probably never see it because the thing goes for over $1,000. Senketsu easily is the best view. I wish there was a figure that had the Junketsu. That'd be cool. Like I said, I did the custom ones for Figma where I did the body swaps. Those are sweet. It's one of the reasons why I really want to get a 3D scanner is so I can rescan the body I made for Ryuko's outfit. So then so it won't have like because when you look up close, you can still kind of tell it's clay, like it's a different material. And I would love to just make like a 3D printed version of it, make it consistent. Which would be cool. But that's going to be one of those things like farther down the road. And I figure I got a little bit of time since we worked on Treadmaster Zilla yesterday. I gotta do some touch-ups, and then there's like in between the joints I gotta clean up to hide it a little bit better. So I got a bunch around, still a little bit of cleaning up to do with that guy. Him, I figure I can mess around. Probably get the blue on the stomach. We can do the blue on the spines. And if I get rambunctious enough, maybe trying to get the blacks on some of the scales. Yep, Zelda time. I only had one thing that wasn't Godzilla related today on the docket. And then hopefully Thursday will be, if I do, because I probably won't hop on tomorrow. It'll probably be an actual video tomorrow. And then Thursday morning, I'll probably be working on sculpting on this guy a bit. Because hopefully from now on, Thursday is going to be like my dedicated sculpty day. So if I gotta do anything like that, Thursday is going to be the day I aim to do that with. So, we need blue. And actually, the blue I've been using is the model colors. Works really well. for my shade that I like. That being said, it's gone. It's always gone. I got gray here. We were just using some yesterday for Godzilla beams. Yeah, like I said, I'm hoping to get yours cranking a little bit more. Because like I said, it's really hard for me to lately to sit down and sculpt consistently. Like I could kind of do it right now. But just in case something happens upstairs and I have to walk off, I'd rather not. Yep, same thing, like with the Baragon ripoffs. I'll hopefully be able to start on those because I'll have like a few hours in the morning to really mess around with that. When I get it done, there will probably be a little video. Even though he's going to be, he's actually for a friend of mine's. Same with this. So, already kind of got a brush hanging out. We'll just use this. Take a little bit of the blue. Brush quite a bit of it off. And then I already did black primer over the spines to change the color so they're not the same yellow as the base body. Yeah, so he'll be happy at the end. And then just lightly go over the spines. Because you don't want them to be like overtly blue, but just enough so the blue tint really shows on them. Yeah, hopefully Thursday too, I'll get some time to work on that. I got the majority of it done. I just got to sit there and do the tail. It takes a while to. It takes a hot minute to detail 21 segments. Because depending if that looks cool enough, that'll be the one from my collection outside of the original one that I did. Remember this? I don't worry too. It's just like the animated one. I don't worry too much about getting blue on the actual figure because what I'm doing doesn't really hint the scaling that much. And again, it kind of helps to blend it in with everything, anyways. So you don't have to be super clean about it. Don't want to go crazy, but if a little bit of hinting goes on the skin, like I say, it works in your favor. And just like with a lot of the Godzilla stuff, I tend to do spines in one direction. So I'll do this side, and then once this looks good, flip them over, work on the other side. And then do a little bit on the top of the head. Again, don't want it super blue, but just like enough to where the blue is kind of picking up. That's the one thing, like I said, about this paint. It doesn't take much for the pigments to really stick. The one pass is usually pretty good. Alright, that side's looking pretty spiffy. A little bit on the side of the head here. The figure is this is an Arctic figure file. You can get it off his website, and then if you got a 3D printer, know somebody with a 3D printer, you can print it there. He does them to himself. Well, sales. But like I said, if you know somebody with a printer, or can get a hold of somebody to print stuff, I'm sure they'll work it out with you. That's kind of the one thing about, because I know there was some controversy with and his files got leaked. Kind of how I got a hold of the file to begin with. About orders not getting sent out, what have you. And then he made the file free on his cult file. And personally, as a guy that does 3D stuff and 3D printing stuff for people, I would much rather have him charge for the file. Because if I want to say, somebody comes up to me and wants to be like, hey, can you print this for me? I go, oh, hey, it's a charged file. Sure, if you pay for the file, send me the file. We can work out a deal to use my printer and my time for messing around with it. Free file, on the other hand, kind of adds all the shades of gray. Because it's a one-time use for the person that downloads the file, but doesn't necessarily mean you have to do the work, you know? Especially for stuff like this, like I almost wish, I wish people would, like, people should definitely charge more for them. Because regardless, there's quite a bit of, there's a lot of work that goes into this, so. I have no idea when I'm building. I wonder, doing it wrong. Well, that's kind of one thing too, because even if you do something wrong, it's a learning experience, right? As bad as it sounds, the best way for me to learn how to do something is for me to fail at it, so I know not to do that again. And then sometimes I still will do it again. I forget where I heard the saying from, but it's pretty much like failure is the best teacher. Servo, no. He still has his nails. Adding a little bit blue to this cheek area here. Yeah, trying not to go crazy, but I just wanted to catch a little bit right around where the lip of this cheek section is. There's the spines. Dark with a tint of blue. Just around his face. Servos, we had to do it once for the groomer. But for the most part, he's got a bunch of scratching posts and all this other stuff, so we usually don't have to worry about his nails. The dog's more of the pain in the butt one, because we don't usually get out to walk them enough to where the pavement and just naturally walking will trim them down. So I have to pay attention to his like super bad. And for the body here, it's just a light dry brushing, just to add a bit of a blue tint to it. Again, one of those like you don't want to go crazy with it. You just want to like once it starts getting a bit of color, you're pretty good. Oh, the smooth Zilla. Working on taking this file and dumbing down the detailing using Blender. Because in Blender you can reformat the file for when you're sculpting and what have you to have fewer polygons or whatever. But what it does is it takes the number in the figure and dumbs it down a little bit, so then it removes quite a bit of the detailing while you're doing it. And doing that and trying to make it look a little bit more like the animated. And seeing how that turns out. Yeah. Now realizing this side didn't really get enough of the skin color. Wherever that file is, or not file. Talk about files got me mixed up now. Wherever the paint is. Some tight painty up. Just a little bit on. A little bit on the brush. Paper towel somewhere. Oh yeah, that's it. I like Godzilla X Con. I thought it was pretty sweet. We just got done doing the review for it at Arneza's. Like I said in there, it reminds me a lot of like 70s Godzilla films. And just like kind of the way the plot's treated. Hair dryer. Having had a few animals, something getting damaged is sort of just bound to happen. So to be honest, like Shin's been really good about it. Like Shin and Tenchi, who was my pug previously, because we went from a pug to a puggle. They pretty much left anything like collectible wise alone, except for they both love stuffed animals. Oh, you should watch 98 Godzilla. I like it. It's not for everybody, but if you like 90s action movies, especially like Independence Day, Lost in Space, like those older sci-fi movies, you'll like 98 Godzilla. It's got the same kind of humor. Or blue, special neck. There we go. A little bit in the joint there. All set. A little tint of blue. Good to go. '98 Godzilla, he's in a decent amount. The nice thing about the '98 Godzilla is he shows up pretty quick, and he's definitely in the movie sporadically. You get good body shots of him. Oh man, I need to watch the. That's one of those ones I need to see the 4K of. No, it's not like a traditional Godzilla movie, but that's the thing I personally like about it is they took a risk with the Godzilla model because it's a very different looking Godzilla. The setup for it is not typical Godzilla. Yeah, like it's definitely similar more to a like Beast than a Godzilla movie, or even King Kong in a way. In the sort of setup that like it's not like a natural disaster, like it's literally just some giant monsters rampaging through the city. Yeah, he was definitely a lot more cunning. So just being like a hulking titan that just tanks everything. Like he had to be more agile and strategic in how he was actually like dealing with the military. Oh, what time is it? 7:41. Yeah, we've been streaming for quite a bit. Because I want to kind of get the blacks on here, but I might just work on that. All that. For today, anyways. Got a little more paint on the figures. Fix something live. Don't do too many of the actual like repairing things. But some of the other stuff I still have hanging around here I gotta work on. Okay, I didn't knock everything over. Sweet. But got this guy hanging out. Put this thing together a while ago. And I've been meaning to sand this down a little bit and paint it up. I haven't gotten to that part yet. Yeah, plus the movie gave us the cartoon, which is like a direct continuation of said movie. Like, it's great. Like, I remember going to my first G-Fest and everybody bashing the movie, and it's just like, I don't know, I didn't quite get the hate on it. But again, I love those, like, cheesy 90s movies. And it definitely falls into that same. And to be honest, too, like, the way the plot's set up and the human characters and stuff, like, again, like, to me, a lot of them are a bit more memorable than even some of, like, the Japanese stuff. With, like, Philippe and Nick Totopoulos. That's just I'm not that much into it, like Matthew Broderick. Like his character still felt kind of fresh for a Godzilla film. Got Animal. It's one of my favorite scenes where you almost get stepped on. That part's great. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this live stream. Like I mentioned, we'll be I probably won't be doing anything tomorrow on here. We'll probably actually we might have a Hammer video tomorrow. Unless Ernest gets the movie review done, then that'll be up. Lost my train of thought. Kind of thinking. And then the next one, probably be working on more Zillas. Trying to wrap these guys up. I might work a little bit more on those. I actually have to Oh, don't forget, I got to clear coat this guy today so I can do some pictures before I send them out. I'm still kind of on the idea of trying to get the -1 color variant so I can make that custom of the end of film version, because that one I'm hard pressed to believe we're gonna get a figure of. We'll probably get an actual figure of this at some point between like Super 7 or Monster Arts, because I doubt they want to leave that money on the table. Because I've all like the recolors, like the minus color's cool, but like I think this is the one everybody's gonna be kind of clamoring for, especially if it comes with a proper beam to go along with it. Which would hurt for me, because then this thing wouldn't sell anymore. But it should be about the same price. Because to be honest, it's mostly the same mold, just with different spines. And they even have this figure set up for the spines to be swappable. That's the only thing they really have to change. And like we were talking about the last stream, yeah, like even if they didn't change that and just left, like did exactly what I did, I could see them doing that too, and it would still work. It would probably still sell, to be fair. But anyways, see you guys in the next one. If you guys like to pick up some Godzilla collectibles for yourself, link your script for Entertainment Earth. Yeah, it'd probably, like I said, it'd probably be like that 150 area, because the minus color one's 150 stateside. And if you guys like to pick up some high-end Godzillas for yourselves, link in the description for CalcusToys.com. You go Steve Calcus at checkout to save 6%. And I think that's all I really got. Guess we'll end the stream the way we started it, with some anime titties. Anyways, see you guys in the next one.